Well, hello there, listener. I'm currently sat in the basement of Temperance in Bath Street, and sat opposite me is Adrian Gaines. Now, Adrian is the brains behind Temperance. Adrian, great to meet you. Thank you for joining us on Life in Lem today.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming and chatting to me.
Now, I have a confession, which is that I know Adrian of old because we were both at the same university years and years ago. And in those days, you were really a mathematician and scientist. You weren't a impresario as you are today. How on earth did that come about?
Yeah, absolutely right. I was a mathematician and operation researcher, and eventually I ended up in a consulting group, one of the big consulting groups, and my specialist area was government, and I was involved in a lot of police and national security projects. You may have heard of number plate recognition, which the police use today to track and catch criminals. Well, that was my idea. I approached the Association of Police Officers with the original concept.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. So the venture into running a cafe and eventually a music venue, what inspired you really to take that leap?
Well, I bought the building because it was in a rather sad condition. Everything we took back to brick, so we have new central heating, new lighting, new electrics. Pretty much everything you see here was, new, and I, by the time I'd finished with it, I didn't have the heart to give it to anyone else. I thought, I could do something with this. And I never even worked in a cafe, let alone run one. And we're a cafe 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, and then in the evenings we do our events. So I had no idea how difficult it would be, and of course it's the most difficult thing I've ever done.
Well, we'll get on to that, because you've still got a smile on your face despite all that. Now, obviously the refurbishment and regeneration of the building is all new, but the name Temperance isn't a new name at all. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, the building was built in the early 1800s, and it was the original street in Leamington, Bath Place, where they discovered all of the spa waters. And it was originally a draper's shop, but in the 1870s it became the Westminster Temperance Hotel and Coffee Tavern, and there were four temperance hotels in Leamington. They were run by the Church of England, and they were for people who wanted to stay in Leamington and not be corrupted by the general debauchery that was going on. These hotels were set up so people who weren't drinkers could stay and not be corrupted.
So sort of a safe space before the term safe space was quite as popular as it is today. But of course, I guess your relationship with alcohol is a little bit different now at Temperance?
Yeah, when we originally opened, I decided I was going to start by becoming a dry space, because we didn't want to become part of the general drinking venue. We didn't want to be a destination drinking place. There are plenty of those around here. And I thought, well, if we were dry, then at least we would become famous for our food, for our drink, hot, cold drinks, and all our events. And people wouldn't just come here to drink. And that was a great idea, but of course we didn't make any money. And so we got an alcohol license, but we've still retained that kind of, we are primarily an event space, a music space, a comedy space, and the drinking is definitely an option, but it's not.
And so let's talk about Temperance as an event space. Temperance Live, in fact, is the events brand. You've built quite a reputation, really, both nationally and internationally, as a high quality venue, a boutique high quality venue, I guess I'd say. But many people, locally may not know what you do here. So give us a little bit of a sense of, the facility that you have here for events, and what sort of events you put on.
We do something like 250 events a year, so like 5-6 nights a week, sometimes twice Saturdays and on Sundays. we're becoming more and more famous for our live music. We're widely regarded as one of the top small venues in the country. For 3 years running, we've been shortlisted in the top 5 UK Blues Federation venues and clubs. Keep losing out to London venues, but one day we'll win it. So we're lots of musicians now include us on local, national, and international tours that they're doing. Yeah, we've had people like Razorlight have performed here, and Gino Washington, Tom Robinson, Chris Difford from Squeeze, members of the Specials, members of the Selector. These are kind of quite famous musicians who wouldn't normally play small places.
So it's fascinating, isn't it? Because it's not just about local talent. I mean, clearly you showcase local talent, but you get some really significant national and international stars. What for them is the draw to come to little old Leamington to come and play for an evening?
Well, lots of musicians prefer playing intimate places. They may have played Glastonbury, they may have played Reading Festival, but here you get a much more kind of intimate feel. You get much more interaction with the audience. The audience gets more interaction with the musicians. And we've invested quite a lot in our kind of sound system as well. So we've got a state-of-the-art now surround system. We've got great lighting. We've got multiple cameras in the room now. We can live stream at the touch of a button from 8 cameras now. So we've put quite a lot in terms of our technology, so that the experience the musicians get and the audience get means that it has become a much more special place.
And from the point of view of the audience, the people that come to see your events, is there a typical type of person that comes to a Temperance gig that you see time and time again? If someone's listening going, oh yeah, that sounds a bit like me, what sort of person comes here?
Literally all sorts. We've got a community. We're building up a community of people who come to lots of different music events, but we do lots of different genres. So we've got a folk crowd that come in here, we've got a bluesy crowd, we've got a rocky crowd, we've got people who come to ska music, people who come to classical music, and what's interesting is we also get people who are crossing over, who start coming to blues events, will now try folk events, and the other way around.
And when we were talking earlier, you were saying that what's interesting is that audience members don't necessarily come because they want to see a particular artist, but they've started to build a bit of trust in your programming, and they'll just go, well, if it's on at the Temperance, I'll go along and have a listen, it must be good. And so you're getting people exploring all sorts of new genres.
That's exactly right, and that's our ideal, is when people will just trust the fact that if they're coming here, that they know it's going to be good. They may not have heard of the musicians, but they know that they have to be good in order to be accepted. I get something like 5 to 10, sometimes 15 musicians a day who are contacting me now wanting to perform here because they've heard from other musicians it's great, they've heard from their agents are referring more and more people to us, and so I'm allowed to be a lot more selective about who we book. I mean, that said, it's also great to support local musicians as well, so it's really nice that people who are just starting out on their musical career can come and play in a good space. If I'm a local singer songwriter starting out on my musical career, well, I can come to places like this and perform my music to an audience who are appreciative and who are here to listen and not chat and drink beer, which if you're going to a pub you don't always get that respect.
And that's an important distinction, isn't it? Because this isn't a boozer with a band in the corner. This is a place where you've got a specific space where the performances happen. It's seated, people book tickets, and they go into that room to listen to the performances.
And respectfully, particularly for acoustic musicians who are quiet. If you're a female singer-songwriter with a guitar and you're singing songs about, I don't know, heartbreak, you need people to listen to the words.
Yes, and the room that you have, I mean, it's a almost domestic scale room, isn't it? You've got, I guess, what, 40 or so seats.
Yeah, we have the capacity is 55 to 60.
55, but it's cozy in there, and it's a very intimate space, isn't it?
It is. It's the size of some people's front rooms. It could well be described as Leamington's front room.
Yes, and that's the thing with Temperance, isn't it? It is, it's a cafe bar. You can get terrific hot drinks. You can have a tipple if you want, but you're not going to come here to get drunk. You're going to come here to listen to the music of an evening, and that's the centerpiece of your experience.
It is. If they do want to come to drink here, of course they're very welcome. But we're not a destination drinking place. Yeah, we're much more of a community of artists, musicians, writers. A place where people could, meet other people of a like mind.
Yeah, and it has it's quite got a bohemian sort of vibe to it here, doesn't it?
People have described it as a bit like Greenwich Village, a bit like Brighton, a bit like the Cavern Club in Liverpool. Just a place where people can come and become part of an artistic community.
Now, you mentioned earlier on the technology upgrade you're doing. While we were chatting, we were a little bit shaken by your new subwoofers that were going through their paces. Tell us a little bit about what you're investing in terms of making sure the experience, both for the audience and for the artist, is as good as possible.
Yeah, we're just going through yet another upgrade. I've upgraded the number of speakers from 6 to 12, and now we're going to 18. So that's quite a lot for a small coffee shop. and we're upgrading the number of cameras, we're upgrading the number of lighting, so we're creating a kind of surround sound system which no other venue in the country has got, quite frankly. Most are left speakers and right speakers, but we are building this immersive sound space, which is genuinely unique. Our lighting's going to be second to none. We're introducing 8 video cameras in the room as well to record the gigs and to live stream. We may at some point create a Temperance TV channel as well. We have 400 gigs that we've recorded here with good quality video, good quality sound. So that could be quite exciting.
Adrian, you've still got a twinkle in your eye after running this for almost 8 years. You clearly enjoy it. What is it you love about running Temperance?
I think it's just being able to put on things that you just can't get anywhere else. And quite literally, there is no other place like this in the Midlands or even in London. And it's it's seeing people come up to you afterwards saying, that's the best gig I've ever been to. That really is, and I do get that quite a lot. And both musicians say it's the best place in the country. People who come to gigs here, some from London, regulars from London, will say, there isn't anywhere like this in the country.
So there you have it, listener, right on your doorstep. By day, a coffee shop, a bar, a cafe. By night, a small but perfectly formed, renowned performance venue. Take a step inside, go check out the website and see what's upcoming. The gigs, because it's such a small venue, they book out early, so book well in advance and come and experience the vibe here. Adrian, thank you very much for inviting us in. Thank you for being part of Life in Lem today.
A pleasure. Thank you for coming.